Hi, Arlene Schiffer from MJ's Handmaids and MJ's Blues and Dance Club, a virtual live venue, blues venue, inside a secondlife.com. Look it up. We haven't really been active over the past couple of years, but that's okay. We still promote and support the independent musicians and the music industry within the secondlife.com. It's very strong, very powerful, and you should really check it out. If you're a musician, log in. You're going to love it. Anyways, today I'm going to show you a little bit of coiling and possibly a coil, but not really. Actually, it's a twisted coil, and we're going to, out of the twisted coil, we're going to make some really cool earrings out of them with a drop. You don't have to do the drop if you don't want to, but I do these in usually silver, but I'm going to do a pair in copper. So here's the silver, and I put a teardrop, tanzanite teardrop. It's a 6mm, but they're really sweet, very classic design, real sweet thing. And I'm going to show you how to do them. They're a great seller if you're a seller, and like I said, they're a classic design, being it's wedding season and prom season and Mother's Day coming up. They're beautiful gifts. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you the different things that I'm using. I'm not using my scissors. I had to cut beads off of a string. I will be using, this is what I'll be using, but not limited to. I might not use them all. Depends on how many flubs I might make. But veil makers. Some people call them jump ring makers. But look them up, they're veil makers. You won't. You might find them as jump ring makers. I don't know. I never looked it up. But I'll be using those. For flats, I have a couple of different flatheads I'll be using, my nylons, and then my metal ones. And these here are a 1.5mm. You don't have to worry about that. It doesn't make a difference here. I have this is a 1mm. I bought these specifically for prong creating. So, and these I bent, believe it or not. You'll need your wire cutters. These are really old, and possibly round nose, not really sure. If you want to do drops with them, also wait before the drops. We have I have a clamp. This is the only clamp I can find, an alligator clamp, and that's to hold. If I needed to hold anything together, that's what I would be using. But if I include it in my creation and use it, you'll see what I'm going to do with it. But do get your flat nose. I've got a ruler, of course. I need the ruler, and we're going to be weaving about 1.5 inches or coiling about 1.5 inches on the wires. And I'll show you how to do that with a pin vise. Otherwise, if you use a power tool like a Dremel or a drill, this is going to take you seconds to do. Pin vise, just a minute, but we're going to do about 1.5 inches coiling. I have one set up to show you what I'm doing. And I'm going to be using barrels today for a drop. These are Kenyites, and they're absolutely stunning Kenyites, top quality, of course. And my clamp, you can see my clamp. Handmade. It's lapis lazuli, and these are, of course, Kenyite. It came out really pretty. Roach clip, card clip. Using it as a clamp for jewelry making, because that's how I roll. So, and I'm going to use a pin vise. Pin vise. Oh, that was good. And how we do this is I'm going to take this one out because this one's done on about 1.5 inches. I do my first one up, and as you can see, it's a little bit over 1.5 inches, which is okay. It's just a couple of coils, but it lines right up with the rest of them, which is what you want to do. So if you go a little over and you don't want to unwrap, that's fine. Just make sure they're even. So this one is done, so I'm going to take it off of my vise. I have both my wrap coiling wire and the base wire inside the vise. Cut this off. You don't need tails. You're not going to need a tail at all for any of these, so don't worry about how much you cut off. You want to go right down to the wire, the base wire. Go right ahead. Little cleaning and straightening at the same time. It's pretty soft wire, so as you can see, it just rebent by me bumping it. And at the end, I will tap it with a rubber mallet or a nylon mallet to harden the post part, because it is a dead soft, but I won't be able to do that on camera, so you're pretty much on your own unless you're going to use a half hard, which will be really difficult to twist, so I wouldn't recommend it. So here I have some clean, this is 5 inches 20 gauge. I forgot to tell you, I'm going to use, for 2 pair earrings, it's 4 pieces of 20 gauge wire at 5 inches each, approximately. Can you see that? If I can get it. About 5 inches. The coiling wire I usually do off the spool, but I have some that must have come in with a kit or something like that, because it was all nicely, neatly coiled with a piece of tape around it. Speaking of tape, if you're going to do this with a pin vise, you might want to protect your finger. I don't have my little rubber finger cap. I have no idea where any of my stuff is right now. I'm still unpacking. I've been here 2 months. So what I'm going to do is use a little painter's tape, if I can find that again. Here we go. And I'm just going to put a little piece around my finger, so the wire, as I'm coiling, I'm going to be using my finger to guide the wire through. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit. What I don't need it doing is cutting into me. So I'm going to grab enough, put it down, and just get my finger in there, because that just hurts. Just hurts. So I'm protected. Bink, bink. My vise is open. I'm going to open it up a little bit. I'm going to take both my wires, my wrapping coiling wire, stick it in the pin vise, get it down in there, both sections open, and get my wire in there. And you can put it down as far as you want. Normally you can. What did I do? I think I tightened it too much the other time. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, get your wire in to your pin vise, tighten it up, and this is what you do. Beep. Just start coiling. 1.5 inches is what we're looking for. I'm just going to twirl this and twirl this and twirl this, and I'm going to guide it with my finger so they're not overlapped, and the coiling are as tight as possible to one another. It's just going to take a minute to do. In the meantime, how's the weather in your area? We've had some glorious days here in Connecticut. Nice thunderstorm came through yesterday. I liked that. Rocks me to sleep. A lot of people I know do not like them. But I can be out in the middle of it. My husband used to stand out back in the 80s and 90s with those big heavy-duty camcorders, and he would film the lightning all exposed like that with a battery pack on them. What a dork. But got 2 hours of nothing but lightning strike footage because of it on VHF. Or VHS or something. I don't remember what they're called anymore. But this coiling is going to be about 1.5 inches. I'm using 28 gauge wire. You can use 30, which is probably going to be a better gauge. Makes a nice smaller, real elegant looking coil. And I'm not going to use the ruler to measure these. Like I said before, I went a little bit over the 1.5 inches. So I don't like doing that. I'm going to measure it up with the other pieces that I've made. So I have 20 gauge for my base wire, 28 gauge for my coiling wire. As far as earrings go, I wouldn't use less than 21 gauge. That's where even that's a little small for a post earring. You want 20 or thicker. A lot of people would do an 18 and 16 gauge to put into the piercing hole. So I got a little bit more to go here. A little bit more. But when you buy from the store, the earring hooks and stuff, I believe the default measurement is a 21 gauge. I'm not sure. This is the proper way to smush your coiling or compress your coiling. Hold it at the top and then pull from the top, because if you push it down you could end up kinking or bending. So that's really the right way to get that done. It's an easier way. And now we have, I think, a couple more coils. They really want to be even. And they're pretty close. Gonna keep it right there, just like that. You don't need a tail for this, so go ahead and cut it nice and close. Let me get this little sucker out of the way. Open your vise up. Whoa, don't do this to me. It's gonna steal it. Okay. And that's that. That's a coil. Let's cut these down. Get them nice and flush. I don't have good cutters for any of this. This is where I get the clamp, because I want something for this to slide up against. Need to smash that down a little bit more, make it nice and tight, and take that off. And get these down the best you can, and because they're going to be pretty much twisted all together, you do want to be careful with how much you have hanging off, but it's not going to be that much in the way or sticking out too much, they end up getting covered pretty well. And some people will also use a half round for one of the parts that I'm going to show you, which is really a cool effect. But I don't have any half round copper today. This is all dead soft round. This design, I'm going to let you know, also makes some great frames. Wraps around your cabochons. So if you're new to the craft, it'll take you a bit before you can figure something like that out with this. But once you do, you're gonna like it. That looks pretty good. That's 2. And we want all 4 to make 1 pair of earrings. My taped finger might get in the way a little bit eventually. But these are a great pair of earrings. You don't have to use them. You don't have to make a post. You can make a loop instead and put it on a post or a dangle. And that's 4. And aren't my neighbors lovely? I'm glad they enjoy music, that's all. Could be UPS too, or FedEx. They're bad with it. Wake up screaming in here. Anyways, let's get these guys aside and out of the way. We don't need you. Take any 2. Any 2. Get your coils together. You're going to want at least, I'm going to say, half an inch. For, oh, this coil's small. Crap. Or that one's too big. Anyways, you're going to want at least a half an inch for your post. I think these are a little bit long right now. Whoops. No. Yeah, these are a little bit long. So you really don't want much more than a half an inch. And I go a half an inch, but I will ask my customer how long for the back, because some of us have some thick earlobes and some of us have some really skinny earlobes. So you want to make sure it's going to go all the way through to the back and be comfortable and have a stopper on it. And I use the silicone. They're more comfortable, and even little girls and little boys can take them off their ears a lot easier and put them on. But I don't like the metal ones. But yeah, you don't want to be more than or less than half an inch when you start. You can even do, sometimes I'll just do a centimeter, which is like the perfect size. So, with that said, you just want your coils lined up right. coils need to be even. Like so. Sorta. What in the world? And this is where I'm going to clamp again. Get these together. Keep it straight. One wants to come out, doesn't it? You can see that they're together, and just a nice, gentle 3 or 4 twists. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's going to be more. Cool, I like them. Right to the end. Twist it all, make it tight. That's one. So how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. That's nice. Again, it really doesn't matter as long as you got your 1/2 inch to play with. Get your coils down to the bottom, like so, so that they're matched up down here. And I like to take the bottom one and bring it over to the top, and just, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's cool. It's going to be more. And here we have that. Take the one that's over and on either end. Bring it around once. You might want to tighten it down a bit. Just like so. Two coil wraps around. That's all. Just the 2. And then cut. Make sure you've got that nice and tucked. And that's that. Pardon me again. And we're going to do the same for down here. I'm going to keep one as straight as possible. nice and tight. You probably have noticed my videos are really bad, but I'm getting better, I think. If you've seen any of my other videos, let me know what you think so far of this one and the peace sign. I think I didn't do too badly on these. That one. Okay. That's one. Okay, I'll just use this one. As tight as possible. Well, that's never a good thing. You just want 2 wraps around the base. 1 base around the other. Bink. And that was the cutter that hit the floor. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. I need a sandwich. I didn't mean to hit the camera like that, so sorry. As tight as we can. Snip, without cutting any other wires. And yeah, we all do that. No matter how long you've been wrapping, you're gonna make the mistake over and over again. Okay. Next, we have 2 twisted coils. And they're approximately, right now, I can't see anything. Oh, close to 2 inches. That's not too bad. But we're not done. Now, we go a size up. You can stick with a 28 gauge, but I'm going to go with a 26 gauge for this. I should do 24. I'm going to do 24. All right, well, let's find 28. That is leather. 24 gauge. Dun, dun, dun. Clean it a little. At the same time, it's my fingers will probably warm it up at the same time, which will make it a little softer, which is okay because we're going to be wrapping around the twists. What did I do? Just throw it down? Okay. So, don't really need all of this, and I'm going to stick right to the spool. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Nope. Gonna put a bit of a hook on this. That's a bit long, but I'll live. And I'm gonna put it right over my coil. Just like this. Gonna give it a good wrap around. And then I'm gonna start following my twist. That's simple. But you do this twice per earring. So we're not done with this one yet. Go around. One, two, three. Leave it at that. Clip. Compress. You want to keep these neat as possible. It's an earring. And that's one. Again, a little hook. Back to the bottom. Let's not do it there. I'm gonna clip this. It's a little hard. Ow. I just poked my finger. Okay, try this again. Just gonna hold this. I'm gonna start by doing it this way. You're going into the blank sections. As you can see, we got open ones and we've got the ones we just filled. So we're going through the next set. And this you want to hold tight because you really want them to get into the gaps, kind of fill them. This one's going to be a little open. bring it right up and wrap 3 times. Compress. Now let's finish this. And that's 1. And it feels pretty not good right there. Okay, so we have this going on. Right? I'm probably going to use this as my post. It's a good length. Whoopsie, I'm so sorry. I'm sitting on top, well, the camera's sitting kind of on top of me. We're so close. Alright. And there we have 1. You can do this with the other one, but let me follow through with the, keep hitting this sucker. I'm going to start with a ring mandrel is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the number 1. And I'm just going to put my end of the where it's coiled, press it nice and tight, and bring this baby around. We need more. That was too small. So let's start large. We'll put it at a 5. Nope. Go 6. Try that. That's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But you kind of want the one with the post to be over a little bit so it's not hooking up on your ear too much. That actually will work. What's that on? It's about 5. Sorry again. Line them up. Perfection. Let's make sure. We're good. This is the post. I'm going to straighten it out. That's how the earring is going to be. I'm going to straighten this one out. Now, for a dangle, as close as you can, bring this down. Gonna make a loop for the made a hook, a dangle up to it. If you want, take some 28 gauge and actually wrap that a couple of times. Let me show you what I mean. Let me grab a quick piece. If it gets hooked up in your hair, so I'm just gonna do a quick wrap. Just a couple of times, as neat as possible. I don't want it to flare out on anybody. Actually, make it a little bit more. Trying to hide it the best I can here. Couple wraps like so. And that's getting really jumbled up. No, not like that. Try this again. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Just go 3 times around the outer wire, 1, nice and tight, 2, make it a little nicer, 3, once around the earring itself, and then 3 more times around the 1, 2, 3. That'll give us a neater look. Come on, different every time. I swear to God. And yeah, I have a really hard time seeing what I'm doing. That's why I have a magnifying lamp. And most of my videos, I'm off camera because of, seems like every time I have to turn around, I'm getting a new prescription for my eyes, and they're just going quick. So I'm limited on my time here, I think. Because I cannot see what I'm doing right now. But that's going to be pretty. Shape it into position. You need to re-round it. Don't be afraid. Gonna make this top section a little bit longer than the bottom. And that is not right. So apparently I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. There, that's what we're looking for. Right there. Let's straighten this back out. That looks good. Oh, you know what I did not mention was a file. Gonna need a file. You don't want this rough stuff up against your ears. Our earlobes are sensitive. Come on, let's face it. Alright, now that we've taken all this time on one, let's just finish that and end the video. How do you think? And with that, we're going to do this really easy. Because of all of the coiling going on, why not a little more? So we can use these pieces that we just cut off. Yep. Will it fit? Yep. Oh, pardon me. So I am going to take my end, just a little bit, fold it right over, compress it, just like that. Gonna put my Kenyite on it. Maybe. I use as much as my wire as I can. As you can see, I'll go through all of that tedious stuff, even on a video, because I'm not wasteful. I try not to be wasteful. See, it's got the little dingy thing going on the bottom. We can do a little coiling on here, which would be fun. Fun. Sure. That's 10 coils. What would that look like? I think it might be too long. So let's take 5 off. 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be good. Just simple coil around the base wire. No big deal. Cut it all off. Compress it. And once again, pretty thin wire. Oh, come on. Give an old lady a break. That's gonna look cute. Because it's gonna be like this. I need to make sure, well, it doesn't matter because it twirls around, but I want my the flat end to be the front. I don't want you to see the loop part. See if it works out. Nice and straight, even though the Kenya is not. Give this a quick couple wraps, nice and tight. That's good right there. And we'll put it on our hoop. Just open it up like you would a any jump ring or earring hoop. Get your dangle on and close her up. Whatever. And there you have a really groovy ass earring. Pardon my language. A backing. This is already almost an hour long, so I'm sure you're done. And I need dinner. You do want to file it. Boop. Isn't that sweet? There you go. And that's one earring. I hope you did learn something about how to make these earrings, but here's a little thing that I forgot to tell you. Using a bigger gauge, go 18, 16, 14 gauge, 12 gauge, even down to 10. You can do bracelets as well. I still want to finish this one. I got to make the clasp for it. It's not going to be just a cuff. And I only use the 2-wire like I do with the earrings. But what I want to do is, if you're going to make a bracelet, make it a larger gauge. This, like I said, this is 18. I should have done it with 4 coils to make it more of a bracelet. This is pretty dainty. This will be pretty dainty and not too bad, But maybe another 18 gauge coiled to twist in with it would be nice. You can add dangles to these. You can even take one of these, the fill-in wires, and bead it instead of just plain wire. But it's so versatile. You can do so many different things with just this alone, and it's so classy and such a classic design. You can't go wrong with it. Silver gold mix, which is my next with the silver. Gonna have some gold in there, and it's just gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna make a silver bracelet as well to go with it, and I'll probably have one of my signature clasps I'll make to go with this, and it will actually have the bead in it, a focal point, for the lack of better words. But yeah, and that's the end of that. I hope you had learned something you were able to see. If not, I'm sure you comment. Most people don't hesitate to leave negative stuff. Positive stuff seems to be too hard. But, so, have at it. Have a good time. I'm Arlene Schiffer. This is MJ's Handmaids, a service from MJ's Blues and Dance Club. Have a great afternoon. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Follow me. My videos are getting better, and the more I see people following me, the more I'm prompted to make more videos and get better at it. And maybe if I can start earning something from what I do, I might be able to invest in better camera equipment. I don't know. I'll need some suggestions on camera equipment, if you wouldn't mind dropping some. Something easy, something an old lady can handle and an old lady can see. So keep that in mind. I'm old. So have a great day. Talk to you later.